if he's still here, my next guest has directed classic films Mean Streets, Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, and Goodfellas, and his latest, Bringing Out the Dead, is playing in theaters everywhere. Please welcome Martin Scorsese. A movie about the insult comic dog. What do you think?
I loved it. I loved that dog.
Okay.
He had energy. He was intense. He was great.
Okay.
Deadly.
Yeah. All right.
He's tough. He's
great.
tough.
I'm going to hold you to this. We're going to make a movie. Now, so much to talk about here. First of all, we're here in New York. We do the show out of New York City, and you are famous for having a very dark view of New York in your films. As a New Yorker, do you think you're a paranoid New Yorker? Do you think that that's the reason you bring some of this to your films?
I think, you know, I'm a New Yorker. I grew up here, and, you know, I just know I don't do the things that people who come from out of town do in New York, like go in Central Park.
Right.
I would never go in.
Why not? Why wouldn't you go there?
Well, because you have, you know, trees and bushes and people coming out of the things, and it's impossible. You know.
You scared of the people behind him, or just the trees and the bushes?
The trees and the bushes themselves.
Okay. Yeah. You have the mad cow disease, I'm afraid.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And are you, so you're not someone who's going to take a carriage ride through the park. That's not you.
Oh, no. Horses.
Right.
Horses.
You're afraid of horses?
Well, yeah, because it's bigger than me, it doesn't understand English. Now, what can I say, you know?
Do you, what about just walking down the street? Are you comfortable walking down, like, Manhattan Street?
Well, you know, I also am a New Yorker. I grew up in New York, so I watch when people come down the street, especially if it's a little dark at night. I sort of look out and I say, you know, that person may look a little dangerous, so I have to know when to cross the street. That's the key thing.
Right.
You know, you can always tell, like, if a person's completely naked. And so it's happened to me.
That's a giveaway. That's a giveaway. That's someone to avoid.
You avoid that person, but when you cross the street, make it seem that you know while you're crossing the street. Make it seem that you were intended to go across the street in the first place. You follow? Because if the person thinks you're crossing because of them, you could be in a lot of trouble.
Right. So be like, see the naked person and be like, oh, Joe, hey, how are you? All right, I got it. Now, one thing that's changed a lot, I have the DVD of Taxi Driver.
Yes.
Watching it the other day, and I'm noticing that you use Times Square a lot as a backdrop.
Yes.
You know, in that film, you probably couldn't do that today because Times Square has changed so much. How do you feel about that?
Well, you know, we did shoot a lot of Bringing Out the Dead in Times Square. But, you know, there's something special about that place. It's, right now they try, and they're doing a good job, I think. They're changing a lot of things. The theaters are coming back in a way. But there's lots of cartoon characters there. And I want to say that, you know, we shot 75 nights in New York. And we were out all night. Around 3 or 4 in the morning, things start to happen. Those cartoon characters start to get a little funny.
You're talking about like the Disney characters start
you know, the rabbits,
dragging on a butt and just
like, they get seated, they need shaves, they start to hunch over.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about the character of the place that just doesn't, you can't change it. You cannot change it, you know?
And actually, I think the fact that there are these Disney characters there now and the seediness makes it in a way more sinister.
Absolutely.
To me. There's like a creepy, it's got this happy, smiling face to it. Then there's this evil heart that
I know, exactly.
Wonderful. Disney, congratulations. Now, it's what they intended.
They tried. You know,
they tried. You are famous for, and I've noticed this just myself in the few times that you've been here, you're very intense, you speak quickly.
Yes.
You're a little hyper. Is that fair to say? A little hyperactive?
You can say that. Yes, you can say that.
Hyperactive man.
Hyperactive, and sometimes I talk so fast the thought comes out and I don't have to say it anymore.
Right.
It's already there.
Right.
This is true.
Right.
You know, I exhaust myself.
So when you really get worked up on a film, say something's not going right and it's not working out, do you start talking faster and faster
Even
and faster?
Yeah, faster and faster. And then take a deep breath. You know, work it out with the actors, work it out with the crew. But, it really helps a lot with the energy of the actors, though, sometimes. You know, but you also have to know when not to say something.
Right. There must be times you just have to say, okay, I just have to let them figure it out.
Right, yeah.
Do you drink a lot of coffee?
My limit now is 2 cups a day.
What would happen if you had 4 cups?
No, I wouldn't. They wouldn't. Like a knife in the ceiling. Like a knife in the ceiling. You know, one of those, they throw a knife in the ceiling and it, you know.
Exactly.
Bang. That's it. Exactly. Right.
You grew up in Little Italy. Here, and apparently you rarely left the neighborhood. Like, that was your world when you were young.
No, seriously, we had a great neighborhood down there. It was mainly a Sicilian Americans on Elizabeth Street. And I tell you, I've said it many times, but the first time I went to the West Side was when I went to NYU. I walked over, thank you. I walked over Houston Street for the first time west. And I went to register at NYU. And, like, I'm not kidding. I mean, like, I really saw blonde people.
The first time you saw blondes?
Yeah, but, I mean, I saw blondes, but it's the first interrelating with blondes.
Right. In person.
They were they were like students, they were teachers. It was a whole different thing.
Would you reach out and, like, touch their hair?
I couldn't. It was like something glowing, you know.
Right. This is weird.
Very obsessive about it, yeah.
Let's talk about Bringing Out the Dead. We actually have, this is an unusual clip we have from the film. Tell us about this.
This is part of a dream scene in which he, it's sort of a flashback as to, he's been haunted by this young girl that he lost. Nick Cage, who's a paramedic, has lost this young girl about 6 months earlier. And he saw her sick in the street, and he tried to help her, and something went wrong, and he lost her. And this is the beginning of the dream scene, that he sees her on the street, and he begins to help her. About 3 or 4 shots.
All right, we'll take a look at this scene, and then we're going to follow it up with something else. Let's take a look at this clip from Bringing Out the Dead.
There you go, baby, there you go.
Now, there's
it's a dream scene. It's a special thing about it, but you go ahead.
Well, there's an eeriness to that scene that's hard to put your finger on, and that was intentional. How did you do that?
Well, I said, you know, it's got to look a little different, but it has to seem, it shouldn't be obvious. So I thought that what I'd do is have the actors and the ambulance, everything going backwards. Have the actors acted backwards.
And then shoot them doing it backwards.
Shoot it. So Nick and everybody are walking backwards, and when you shoot it with a reverse mag, and when you project it, it comes out forward. But there's something off. There's something not quite right. I think a lot of people have done this over the years. George Stevens in Shane, when Alan Ladd, who's like pure good in the film, and sees pure evil, played by Jack Palance, getting off his horse, dismounting, he shot him in reverse, getting on the horse. And you see, something's funny about that. Something is really,
because the movements
strange.
are subliminally unnatural.
So now we'll show it again. You'll see. This is the way we actually shot it.
This is actually how it was shot. Okay, let's take a look and just talk over what's happening here.
This is Nick going backwards.
Right.
And this is the truck going backwards, I mean the ambulance. And this is the kid. Actually, this is actually how we began the shot. This is Nick seeing her going backwards. And she's walking backwards here.
Now, how did the actors respond when you said, I want you to do this?
Well, these poor kids, they were great. The Cynthia plays Rose. She was wonderful. She had never done a film before. And she just did it. Right. But when I said, you know, Nick, I got this idea that we should really do the whole thing backwards, he says, hey, cool. He thought that was great.
He just said, let's
do it. Let's do it. John
Did
Goodman,
he think the whole movie? Yeah, right.
A couple of times, a couple of people looked at me with blank faces.
Yeah.
You know, John Goodman looked at me. He's in the scene, too. He's in the scene. You'll see.
Running in.
You know, yeah, he ran in, actually. He was great, John.
Yeah.
He just did it.
Terrific actor. Well, Bringing Out the Dead is in theaters now. Go see it. We're honored to have you whenever you come in. Thank you very much. Martin Scorsese. We'll be right back. The Counting Crows. We'll see you in a second.